Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Generation Millennium. I'm your host, Jeff Romanus, and what a surprise! We actually have Pokemon update news for, well, essentially all the current Switch games in a way. First off, we have Pokemon Sword and Shield. I heard last night that we were going to get update news for that, and, well, the news is actually disappointing. The update news is just for the raid dens, which will last until February 27th. I completely forgot we're on the game. Well, I completely forgot about the fact that we're gonna get Sword and Shield news for a bit, but we are, and unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your perspective, these are just the Gmax raids for Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. The only upside for this is that if you extremely dislike having to track down these particular raid dens in the Isle of Armor, then, well, for a limited time, you have them as promo raids. And also, unfortunately, these raids also do not have a boosted, well, shiny rate. They're all the standard. So if you hunt down the shinies for these guys, you have to do it the old-fashioned way. And that's pretty much all the Sword and Shield news, unfortunately. That's so very disappointing. And there's also, of course, other news regarding other topics that I really don't keep an eye on, like the trading card game Live, Pokemon Masters EX, Unite, Cafe Remix, and a couple other things like cooking episodes or songs that are getting released, albums. Because unless they're releasing the BDSP or Sword and Shield soundtracks onto like the iTunes store or something, I'm not really all that interested. But the major updates are related to Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, because finally the 1.2.0 patch update has arrived in. Well, this update is also just as underwhelming because these are mostly just fixing things that have not been in the game, that should have been in the game from like the beginning, from launch date like 4 months ago. So these updates at this point is rather underwhelming. So the first is which is that when you're in the Jubilife TV station, excuse my alarm there, apparently you can now see like the group updates. Like if you go into like, this is just a feature in Jubilife City. You can like create groups and group names for yourself. And now if you go into these groups, that you can now like see them if you're using like global trades or for the Battle Tower contest underground. You can now see these things like the Jubilife TV station as like news updates of sorts. It's a little underwhelming. But the other one was a feature that was supposed to be advertised from the beginning, is that the Union Room can now hold up to 8 people, apparently. So, kudos to having that feature finally put in. As well as that when you're in the Union Room, apparently you can now show off your trainer card as well as your ball capsule decorations, I think is what they said on Cerebi. I'm not sure I'm reading this right. So, I mean, having more people in the Union Room now, that's actually good, because before now, you can only do, like, interact with just one person at a time, so therefore you can only have, like, 2 people in the room at once, so now you can up to 8. That can make doing multi-trading and battling more interesting. And speaking of battling, the Coliseum on the second floor of the Pokemon Center has now received an update. And this particular update just essentially gives the Coliseum access to the single, double, and multi-battles that you can now like adjust like special rules, like the different levels of Pokemon, the amount of Pokemon you can bring in, and I'm not sure you can do much of anything else, but that's essentially what the updates involve for BDSP. In addition, it seems that I think they also removed like some like more glitches via this patch. And wow, Blastoise just kicked me out of this right here. Rip to Galar and Akuna there. Wasn't defeated, but knocked out 4 other people, so I guess I got the worst possible comrades for that. And that's really about it when it comes to, well, the updates. In my opinion, it's like Pokemon Company, Game Freak, Ilka, and pretty much anyone else that's involved with Pokemon right now. It's like, oh hey, did you know Pokemon Day is coming up this weekend? Hey, why don't we just use this week to just drop a bunch of updates that we should have done like months ago. Because at this point, coming up this weekend, like the Pokemon Go Johto tour thing going on, and I'm still have my reservations on that because I only play Pokemon Go to capture shiny Pokemon for like the transfer to the Let's Go games on, and since only Kanto Pokemon come here, I may try to play that Johto tour just to see if I can get some more shinies that can transfer in, but considering it's based on Johto, I don't know, maybe I might get lucky and I can get an Onix to transfer over. Maybe I can get lucky and get a bunch of like more Kanto Pokemon. Like, if I can get a Chansey, that would be nice. Because anyone who's played the Let's Go games, you know just how annoying getting those rare spawns to appear and trying to find them shiny is even more of a pain. It's just a matter of time and dedication, really. And since the Let's Go games are now like getting to be like 4 years old now, playing them, I haven't really been dedicating much time or effort to them, even though I probably should. But the Pokemon Day coming up, it's very well likely that Generation 9 could be announced because you have to look at the timeline. Sword and Shield came out in 2019. It's been 3 years since then, and that's usually the timeline that Game Freak and the Pokemon Company usually give for a whole new generation cycle to come out. So who knows, Gen 9, we have no idea what they'd be named by now because Game Freak has now gone away from the concept of naming their games after colors after 5th generation. And then Gen 6 had X and Y, 7 had Sun and Moon, and then now Gen 8 Sword and Shield. So we have no idea how to predict the names of the next generation, let alone what region of the world they're going to be based on. But then just look at the timeline, like Gen 7 came out in 2016. Gen 7 came out in 2016, Gen 6 came out in 2013, Gen 5 came out in 2010. And that's it for the international releases because I don't recall the original release dates for Gens 2 to 4, although Gen 1 was 1996, can't forget that date. Although for those of us in the US, it was Japan was 1996 originally, then international 98. I believe that's how it was. So with a 3-year difference now since Sword and Shield debuted, it's very well possible that when Pokemon Day comes out, we can get news for Gen 9 because like if you recall from last year, Pokemon Day, that's when we got the BDSP announcement trailer as well as Legends Arceus, so it's very well possible they could do that as well as other updates they could do because at this point, lots of updates are still needed for these games. Like Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl is still an incomplete game because one, it's been 4 months and we still do not have access to Darkrai, Shaman, and Arceus events. Like we need the Oaks Letter, Members Card, and Azure Flute items to get access to New Moon Island, the Flower of Paradise, as well as the Hall of Origin in order to get those guys. Not to mention the GWS, which I don't know if that's been confirmed. Was that the Global Wonder Station that people have been saying that stood for? I don't know what that thing is, but considering it's still offline at this point, it's my hypothesis, essentially, like my speculation that... Well, I should also mention that it's also been confirmed that if you transfer any Pokemon over to BSP from Legends Arceus, it's been confirmed that some Pokemon may be able to do it. They only showed up like a screenshot of like Pachirisu. So it's very well possible that maybe the GWS is how you'll be able to transfer in Pokemon from Legends Arceus over to BDSP, because my original speculation is that they're going to use like the Pal Park, which is now Ramadas Park, but before Ramadas Park was revealed, it was my speculation that Pal Park would be how you could transfer Pokemon from like Legends Arceus over to BDSP. But it's very possible that the GWS, which is that place in Jubilee City you still cannot get to, that very center may very well just be how you can transfer Pokemon from PLA over to BDSP. I mean, that's just my speculation. It could be just literally what people thought it was, and this is how you can just do GTS Wonder Trades in BDSP. Although at this point, again, irrelevant because all the GTS stuff is still being done via Pokemon Home. And speaking of Pokemon Home, Ilka has been holding off on that one because who knows why. I mean, it's been almost a month since Legends Arceus came out, so my speculation is why Ilka is holding off on that is mostly I don't know, maybe for marketing purposes, or maybe because they want to give more time for programming, because with PLA having those alpha Pokemon in the noble forms, if they're going to make those like regional variants of some kind for Hisuian forms, that's also something to be programmed into home. This Hisuian forms, the Hisuian evolutions for like Overquill, Cleaver, Weirdeer, all those stuff that in Amoras, they all have to be programmed into Pokemon Home to be added because the Pokedex number now jumps up to the over 900 mark. And with Generation 9 now on the horizon, who knows, that total could probably jump up to maybe like 900, anywhere from 950 to 980 something, because one thing that some of you guys may not be aware of is that the Pokedexes that are made nowadays, like, let me go back into Sword and Shield here. Like the Sword and Shield Pokedex here, the base one here, it's 400. That's almost half the national dex currently. And then if you include the Pokemon from the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra, the amount of Pokemon currently you can obtain within Sword and Shield is pretty massive. If you include like legendaries and other transferable Pokemon, you can pretty much have like close to roughly I don't know, like 600 to 700 Pokemon. That's a pretty good chunk of of like the entire national deck. So while we may still be missing some Pokemon, like I'm like still missing the fact that like Pachirisu is in this game, because I really like to use Pachirisu, because for those of you who are still not aware, Pokemon Sword and Shield is effectively how Game Freak is currently holding like their online competitions and stuff, because this game is more oriented to be more competitively oriented. Hence why the International Championship tournament that just recently took place is being held in this game rather than BDSP, especially when BDSP is still missing a huge chunk. Well, I mean, not a huge chunk, but yeah, like four generations worth of Pokemon, which is why Sword and Shield is being used for the competitive standpoint. And speaking of competitive standpoint, I would like to note that these Pokemon I used for my International Championship for the February one that just recently finished, I forgot to give my Pokemon the Nature Mints for that tournament. So the fact that I still won, I'm actually rather impressed. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of my opponents were thrown off by the fact that I started off the battle with a Togedemaru and Galarian Moltres leads. And I still feel sorry for that one. I don't know if he was like Japanese or Asian, but when I used Encore to like on his Protect, like, and he just like rage quit after that. I feel sorry for that, but it was still a viable strategy. And if you're wondering why most of these guys are in Beast Balls, yes, I caught these guys in Beast Balls from raids. So these are not hacked. And frankly, even if they were hacked, Game Freak is still, and Nintendo are still cracking down on illegally obtained and hacked Pokemon, so don't even try to do that. And if you're wondering why I gave this Moltres such a weird name, it's because this one I found with a mark, the basic one, uncommon. This is a pretty generic mark, nothing special about it, but it was the first mark for the Galarian birds I managed to obtain, so that's why I'm using this one. And then here's this from the Zacian event. All these guys are shiny, FYI. And just as the Cineroar was the one that was caught from the Alola Den event. Don't forget about that. And speaking of Raidens, just as also a reminder, while we're in Sword and Shield, the promo dens are ready until February 27th. If any of you are interested in going after these G-Maxes for the Kanto Stars, and I really dislike this, like, it's cool that they're bringing back the Kanto starters again for like the Pokemon Day promo raid, but why just the Kanto starters and their G-Max forms at the 5-star? Like, if you look at the 1 to 4-star raids, like they're all like just like it's the basic promo den, the one that just runs whenever any other special runs are going on. Like promo dens, they run like year round, I suppose you can call it, with getting like the special updates once a month. But then the regular promo den they're essentially just Pokemon you'll come across at the beginning of the game, like Wooloo, Skwovet, Chewtle, Rookidee, things like that. And then once you get to like the like the 3, 4, and 5-star race, there's also a chance of Ditto appearing there. So I guess for breeding purposes, that's also something interesting to look at. But still, it's like rather bland. So if they're going to do the Kanto starters, why didn't they put in also the lower evolutions for Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Charmander, Charmeleon, Squirtle, and Wartortle? Because at this point in time, like, if you missed out on like the 2020 promo den for Pokemon Day, the Kanto starters were there. I mean, the Charmander line, you can find them in dens in the wild area. That's always been there, but the other Kanto starters, like the most recent Kanto starter I can think of is when they did that Frog Day Pokemon event. Like Ivysaur and regular Venusaur were available, but for some reason they didn't do the 2% shiny thing for them. Instead, the 2% shiny was Politoed for some reason. That really aggravated me. Like, I don't know what junior staff members at Game Freak are currently in charge, but their ideas are extremely lacking, and at this point, my recommendation to you guys is when Pokemon Day comes around, have the lowest expectations possible, because the surprise factor will be more than worth it for having a low expectations, because at this point, don't expect too much. Like, when Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl trailer last year came out, it's like, rather than being hyped for it, most people were just like, about time. Because like ever since Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, we were expecting it. We just didn't know when. So when it came out, it was just more of a about time scenario rather than a yeah! And I apologize for that scream, but that's what a lot of people's reactions on I see here on YouTube are. I mean, I don't mind watching people get excited and whatnot, but for me personally, I'm just not the type to just scream with happiness like they do. I mean, the only time I probably will scream something like that if I finally do Dynamax Adventures again, and hopefully my Gelto evolves into male sometime soon so I can start streaming, because I really want to do Dynamax Adventures and track down all those other shinies, because, well, Arceus only knows I'm still missing so many of them. I only found 2 of them so far, which is crazy. Only legendaries from DAs I've got so far are Zygarde and Mewtwo, and there are still a couple others I want to get. I actually need to wait, do I need to update that? What did the number of shiny Pokemon here say? 575. If I were Articuno now, does that go up to 6? Whatever. Yeah, that's essentially the news I have for you guys. And if you watch all the way to the end, I thank you for listening to my ranting tirade. That's what you call it. I still love Pokemon, don't get me wrong. It's just the decisions that are made by the company who runs this stuff, it can get a little irritating, have to deal with the decisions. But as always, you know what to do if you enjoyed my content, and I guess I'll just see y'all next time. Take care!